Teen Gamer here, and here it is, the mandatory Spiral Abyss 4.4 commentary video. So, of course, I will be talking about the floors in greater detail, as well as give you guys some insight, and as well as the teams I used and explain why I used those teams in those floors in the first place. So, well, basically it's just a commentary video. It's just me voicing over my runs. So yeah. But for this Spiral Abyss, it is very, very interesting. And I will be explaining it why once we get to floor 12, because that is where the meat and potatoes of this abyss are. But floor 11 is really interesting too, because I don't know why, but they made it really easy for some reason. And you'll see what I mean. So on the first half, I ran the Navia team. I just can't get enough of the Navia team. It's really, really fun. I love seeing the big damage numbers. I don't know why. I just really love seeing Navia do like 200k or 300k. Even if she doesn't crit, she still does a lot of damage. Like 100k on non-crit. Like, it's really, really good. She is extremely, extremely good, and she also takes down the enemies way too fast. And as for the second half, I opted for a soup team. Because, well, Venti is really good crowd controller, and plus I never dust them off anyway. So yeah, that is the explanations on my teams on my end. But here is the chamber 1. I didn't talk about the first half, but the first half is just a bunch of Hilichurls and then a Metachurl. So yeah, it's not really that bad. And then the second half is basically the same thing. All you have to deal with is small slimes, and that's basically it. Yeah, no big slimes where they jump in the air and then they do that ground pound attack. Nope, not this one. Apparently, they're all small slimes. So yeah, and plus it is a monolith chamber, meaning that you could basically take your time. There is no time limit. So yeah, and here is the chamber 2. So the first half has a bunch of Vishaps as well as the elemental Vishaps. So yeah, not really that bad either. Just bring your best teams and you should be fine. I mean, deal as much damage as you can because these guys are really, really beefy. So yeah, really it's just your basic floor. It's just deal a bunch of damage and then kill the enemies. Yeah, there's really not much advice I could give you on these floors except just bring your best teams and have a good time. Because you basically have a bunch of time anyway. They give you like, what, longer than 300 seconds? Yeah, which is really, 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 really easy to get through. So yeah. And here's the second half. All you have to deal with are Abyss Mages and then those large slimes. So, the main strat with this is to use like an animal character so you can get the swirl damage, because in this floor you get a 75% animal damage bonus. So yeah, it's really, really recommended to take advantage of that ley line disorder and then get the damage, because it's really, really beneficial. You see, as you see here, it does a lot, and I mean a lot of damage. So yeah, but if you want to do it the normal way, just focus on the mages and take down their shields. They are the biggest threat on that chamber. So yeah. And here is chamber 3. So the first half, you have to deal with Aeon Blight Drakes. They fly. So good luck trying to hit them if you have no bow characters. But usually they stay grounded like this, meaning that you can hit their tails. For this one in particular though, he's in the air. So thankfully for Navia, she can aim a little bit upwards. You'll see here in a moment. Yeah, see, she can aim a little bit upwards with her attack. I think New Valette can do the same thing too, where he could barely hit this guy's tail. So yeah, as long as you have at least somewhat range and at least you can hit somewhat above your head, like the Navia 4-hit combo where she does the flip. Yeah, that actually attacks overhead, by the way. Nice pro tip. But you can basically do that and deal damage to this thing. So yeah, as long as you have a bow character or anyone who can hit above their heads, you should be fine. But yeah, that's the only hard part about this floor, because the second half is just this. Yeah, so I hope you love Mirage Mages because they love to teleport around. As for the other enemies, the treasure hoarders, they're not really that bad. Again, since the Leyline Disorder is Animo, you can literally bring a crowd controller. It basically works on basically all of these floors. Yeah, floor 11 is just crowd control city. You can just run crowd controllers and you're like, you're good. You're good. You're just good. Because they die instantly. But if you don't have crowd controllers, I'll give you the same advice I gave you in the first half. Just run your best teams. Yeah. These floors are not meant to be hard floors. The hard floors are the floor 12s. That's why no one ever does a floor 11 commentary. But I do it anyway because if you guys have trouble with floor 11, I'm your guy. So yeah, if you have trouble, just watch this video, follow my advice, and you should be fine. But yeah, there is it. That is it for floor 11. Time to move on to floor 12, so I'll see you guys then. So in this floor, I actually done something really special for this commentary video. I will actually show you guys the full run. Yes, I mean the full run. If you guys are quick and astute enough, you could see that I did a splice on the Spiral Abyss video that I uploaded, the beating the Spiral Abyss for the first time. Yeah, I spliced it. That's because I got a reset. Yeah, I had to reset because the Wenna is just way too annoying. But, yeah. I'll talk about that later. But for now, here is the lineup. So we have Navia, the Navia double Pyro for the first half. And then for the second half, I ran the Raiden Hyper Bloom team. So, yeah. But, for the first half, it's just basically floors that, well, as they say, you just have to beat them down as fast as possible. So yeah, these are literally the first half floors. All of the first half floors are like this. You have to beat them as fast as possible so you can get to the second half, because that is where the meat and potatoes are for this abyss. So yeah, for the first half of this chamber specifically, you have to deal with 2 mechs and then 2 of these prisms, or these prismatic orb thingy-mabobs that are Dendro. So yeah, these are pretty easy to deal with. All you have to do is just bring your strongest team for first half. Yeah, that's the only advice I'll ever give you for it, because you have to beat them as fast as possible, because you need as much time, and I mean it, as much time as you can for the second half, because the second half is a nightmare for all 3. Especially if you are a free-to-play player or a budget player, and especially if you don't have that much good builds. So yeah. As for the second half here, we have the Ruined Serpent. Really annoying enemy because it loves, and I mean it, he loves to dig underground. He is that type of enemy. So, but the good thing about the Ruined Serpent is that he gives you a lot of chances to basically attack it. So yeah, as you see there, he gave you a full 20 seconds to attack it. Yeah, it's not that bad. It's actually not that bad. But when he does this attack where he does like the whole like black hole like dirt attack, yeah, you can't do anything about that. But besides that, his basic main attacks is just he goes in the middle and then he just does like a 360. He also does this desperation move where you have to attack it. Not really that bad either. Again, you just have to basically deal as much damage as you can. And then he dies instantly. So yeah, he gives you a lot of chances to attack. So the advice I'd give you is, once it gets up in the ground, attack it as much as possible, because it does not have special resistance. Yeah, you'll be surprised. He doesn't actually have resistance, unlike the Wenna. The Wenna has resistance. So yeah. But there is the Ruined Serpent. Yeah, again, the best advice I can give you is, once it appears off the ground, you can just attack it as much as you can, deal as much damage possible. So yeah, here is Chamber 2 first half. So I did say that this is the unedited footage of my Abyss run. So yes, this is my first attempt on Chamber 2. I did get a reset. Keep that in mind. I had to reset because this chamber specifically, is really, really hard because of the Wenna. The Wenna is just way, way too unfair for at least for free to play and budget players with budget builds, because this guy has a lot of resistance, and the only way you can defeat the Wenut is if you have, well, the damage necessary to fight him in his down state, and you'll see what I mean by then. But as for the first half, it's just 2 Eremites and then the other 2 Eremite ladies. So yeah, the gimmick here is that you just have to deal with the personas they summon, or the animals they summon, and once you do that, they basically become stunned and you're able to do as much damage as you can. So yeah, that's the fastest way to beat these guys. But besides that, you just have to take care of them, because you need all the time in the world, and I mean all the time in the world, for this guy. This worm, this animal worm, is the bane of all existences, besides the heralds. The heralds suck, but this thing sucks even more, because look at this. Look at how much resistance it has. Again, this is the Hyper Bloom team, aka one of the best teams in the entire game, and also one of the best DPS teams in the game. And he takes no damage. He takes no damage. He takes literally no damage. So yeah, it's really bad. The other reason why I was able to do at least 30k with Nahida is because Nahida's C2. She's C2. Yeah. Without that, I wasn't even able to like at least some damage, because this will probably take me like the full 3 minutes. But yeah, that is your chance to attack when it does that desperation move. He summons animal orbs and he's on the ground like this. You have to deal as much damage as you can, because if you don't, there it goes. Yeah, and it goes back to having resistance. So yeah, this thing is a pain in the butt to beat. So once you get that option where he basically does the desperation attack, take it, because he will literally do this the whole time if you don't. So yeah, you don't get a second chance. You rarely, and I mean it, you rarely get a second chance on this thing. So if you see the opportunity, preemptively get your burst up. But as you see there, I did a reset because there's no way I'm beating that thing in 20 seconds with health like that. So yeah, but here's my second attempt on this abyss. But back to the topic at hand. The Wenut is just way too annoying. You already know how annoying he is if you did fight him in the overworld, because that thing just sucks, because he loves to go in the air. He also loves to go on the ground. So he's basically the Aeon Blight Drake and the Rune Serpent combined. Yeah, I'm not joking. But I guess the best advice I could give you is wait for its desperation attack. Don't use your burst carelessly. Just wait. If you are prepared, then it shouldn't be that bad, because at least you'll do what, like half damage if you have like decently built characters. And then all you have to do is wait again, and then it does it again, and then hopefully you can beat it in under 3 minutes. But yeah, the first half, but though, you have to beat it immediately, because you need all the time in the world. Again, I will say it over and over again. You need all the time in the world to get to the Wenut, because you need as much time as possible, because that thing wastes time as long as it's underground. If it's underground, you can't do damage, and if you can't do damage, you're not gonna beat this abyss. So yeah, but here is the second attempt on the Wenut. So this time, instead of me using all my bursts at once, I waited. I actually waited. For Yelan, I used the burst there because I could get it back immediately anyway because of Raiden. So yeah, the only reason why I didn't do that, basically. But yeah, I could just spam Yelan E, and then I could get my burst back. As you see there, she's almost done. Same with Baiju. Baiju's burst is pretty easy to get because I have a lot of energy recharge on it. So yeah, but basically here I'm just saving all my bursts for later, because he's gonna be doing that desperation attack. As you see there, he does the desperation attack. I use my burst here because there's no opportunity that I can't use it now. So yeah, there you go. I use all my burst, and then do the Raiden burst right here, and then deal as much damage as I can. But as you see there, that is almost half of its health gone right there from that one burst. Yeah, that is your only opportunity to deal as much damage as you can. And then now, basically, I only have like 40 seconds left to beat this as fast as possible, which is more than doable right here with the characters I have. So yeah. Still though, it is cutting close to time. Because, well, as you see there's only like 30 seconds on the clock. So yeah, just plan your burst strategically and do as much damage as you can and save your burst for the perfect moment. That is the advice I will give you. But yeah, the Wena is just way too insane. He's really annoying. So yeah, that's it. But here is Chamber 3. The first half is mechs. So yeah, 4 mechs, not bad. And the second half is the Aeon Blight Drake. I'll talk about the first half like briefly. So again, this is just a floor where you have to beat it as fast as possible so you can get enough time for the second half. Yeah, this floor is a boss gauntlet, just like the last version. So just deal a crap ton of damage against the mechs. Hopefully you can beat it in under a minute. And then once you do that, you have all the time in the world for the Aeon Blight Drake. So yeah, that's basically the advice I will give you for this first half. Just nuke them down, and then just get ready for the Aeon Blight Drake. So yeah, really nothing to it. I mean, you could do the Pneuma reaction against these things, but you don't have to. You could just kill them, like what I did with my Navia. So yeah. But here is the second half, the Aeon Blight Drake. I recommend to not use your burst until it gets stunned, which is right here. He's gonna do his missile attack right here. So yeah, he has 2 ways to get stunned. It's either attack his wings when it's glowing, or attack the middle when it does his missile attack. When it does its missile attack, you could just attack the middle and then it gets stunned and then do as much damage as you can. But yeah, there you go. There goes half of his health because he was stunned. So yeah, that's literally the main strategy on beating the Aeon Blight Drake. You just have to get stunned. That is the reason why I had to bring a bow character, and that is why you should too. Because if you bring Farina cannot attack the middle for some reason. It'll attack at random spots. So you could get lucky and attack the middle, but if you get unlucky though, you won't. So yeah, just keep that in mind if you do use Farina. You could use Farina to attack the Aeon Blight Drake. It still works. It still attacks in the air. It's just that you have to deal with a bunch of missile barrages. You have to deal with the Aeon Blight Drake's air attacks. It's really annoying. So in order to simplify things, just use a bow character like Yelan or Amber, or any other bow character will work. As long as you get that thing out of the air, you should be fine. But that's basically the it for the Spiral Abyss 4.4 commentary video. So yeah, well, anyways, hope you guys liked it. And speaking of like, if you do like this video, make sure to leave a like and also subscribe to the channel. And if you are new to the channel, and if you did subscribe, make sure to turn on the notification bell to not miss out on a upload that I do on the channel. Again, all of your support is greatly appreciated. It fuels my passion on making Genshin videos, so liking and subscribing, thank you guys so much for all the support. It really means a lot to me. And also, comment down below, what do you think of this Spiral Abyss? You think it's good? You think it's bad? You think it's pretty easy? You think it's pretty hard? Do you have any other strategies that you want to talk about in the comments? Let me know down below. And as always, thank you guys for watching this Spiral Abyss commentary video, and I'll see you guys in the next Genshin video.